Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Idol Angel video, and today I'm gonna be covering finally our best DPS angel that we have currently in the game Nemesis. I know that you are probably expecting Sagittarius since she came out yesterday, but I'm still in need to see a bit more and collect more information about her. So I will probably make a video tomorrow regarding her. But today's focus is Nemesis, so let's not delay it and talk about our goddess of the DPS rank list at the moment. Now, before we go talking, especially only for Nemesis, some information beforehand. First, in order to level up your angel to the maximum, which is level 400, and you need that in order to have the maximum amount of speed and stats for your angel, you will need to push the SSR plus and the UR stars. But since Nemesis is an MR based angel, all you need to do is to push the MR stars in order to reach level 400. Otherwise, you will reach a cap and it will say that you need to awaken the angel further in order to level it up. And on the bottom is a small screenshot of how much scrolls you are going to need for each level, and then the total sum amount for the MR. The MR and the ER levels are all the same. When it comes to the Awaken levels, this is my suggestion. I would build Nemesis MR 1 star, then I would put everything into the Incarnation levels, and then I would finish the MR stars. My reasoning behind this is because with MR1, your Nemesis will be able to cast her MR skill on the first round, which is very good and very important. And if you have Nemesis given for free, then that is very, very good for you. But even if you don't have her for free, it's kind of good to know that she can cast her MR skill. And the reasoning behind not finishing the MR first is because on the Incarnation level, that's another DPS skill that she will be casting every round or so. So in my opinion, Incarnation level is way more important. But of course, keep in mind that if this is your first angel and you don't have any other angel that is level 400, then you might need that MR stars at some point. But once again, she is an MR based angel and you need 1450 scrolls to summon for her. If you are a new player and you still haven't chosen a DPS, you will be able to summon for Nemesis around 20th of December, so you can start saving up scrolls to get as many as you can. When it comes to the basic skill of Nemesis, she deals 220% of physical damage to all enemies and then increases crit damage by 50%, which will last for 2 rounds. And then with the second skill, she will deal 220% of physical damage to all enemies and enter the Swift state, which will increase her speed by 5%, which is very, very good for her. Now, why is that speed so important? Because of her UR plus power. Whenever she enters the battle, the position of the enemy on the same spot, so let's say you're running a Nemesis on position 1, then the enemy on position 1 speed will be counted towards the UR plus. So basically, for each 1% of speed that Nemesis has more than the enemy, she increases damage dealt by 5%, which is stackable up to 100% increase in her damage and lasts until the end of the battle. So it's very, very important to have speed on Nemesis, and that's why my suggestion for the UR plus powers goes as follows. The attack on the first one, then 20% more damage for one round, then the speed, then the increased attack values for 1 round, and then lastly revives when it dies. But this revive could be swapped to the crit damage plus 50% for PvE and for PvP, depending if you are just needing that little bit of damage in order to one-shot the enemy. My idea over here is basically that Nemesis is super fast angel, which means that if you place her on position 1 for early and for mid game, you will be demolishing most of the enemies. Of course, unless you are going to face someone like Pandora that very recently came out. Then let's talk about the MR powers of Nemesis. MR0, she grants a discipline, which is a buff to self, which will increase her attack by 20% and crit damage plus 30%. On MR1, now this she receives 200 energy, which makes her MR being able to be casted on the first round. MR2, she is going to get another 10% of crit damage and attack. On MR3, the passive can be stacked, which means every single time she casts her MR power, she's going to receive this attack and crit damage buff, which you can expect that if the battle lasts for a lot of time, it is very, very good. MR4, she receives plus 10% speed, which is incredibly high. Usually at level 400, angels have around 3000 speed, which means that MR4 will give her around 300 speed, which is incredibly good for PvP. And on MR5, she will be getting plus 30% skill damage. When it comes to the incarnation powers, she will deal 3 times 100% true damage and 1 time 50% holy damage, and she will gain plus 5% speed, which will be another 150 speed. And then she has a passive which upon death creates a copy of self that will deal 20% less damage, and this copy will stay until all of the allies dies, which is incredibly strong in my opinion, and that's why you can even run without the death evasion on her UR plus powers. When it comes to the incarnation level 1, this is the +1 willpower, which she will need in order to cast her incarnation skill. On incarnation level 2, she will be dealing more holy damage. Then on incarnation level 3, she will be getting more true damage. Incarnation level 4, she will be getting +1 more willpower. And then incarnation level 5, she will be getting plus 50% true damage and holy damage, and she will start to ignore shields, which is another amazing power tool for PvP, to be able to kill your enemies even though they might have shield. So this is why I suggest you do the incarnation powers, and in my opinion she is one of the best DPS angels that we currently have. When it comes to the relic, I'm going to suggest her own relic because it's going to give her speed, and then as substats you're going to be looking for attack, crit damage, or speed. Now when it comes to how many of which to get, if you get any of those three, but those three, it's good, but you can be stacking, for instance, speed for PvP, but I'm pretty sure that Nemesis will be first one to cast unless the enemy has a faster Nemesis. When it comes to the gear, I do suggest the weapon and the ring to be tier 5 first, after which we do the tier 5 on belt and a chest plate, and lastly the boots and the helmet. But keep in mind that for the DPS in early game, I suggest that you run tier 5 on boots, on weapon with ring, tier 4 on belt with chest plate, and tier 3 on boots and helmet, so you can receive those triple attack buffs in the early game. When it comes to the artifact, it's pretty easy and simple to say. Since she is a DPS, you would want the crit chance and crit damage, which will help you tremendously. Then going for the leech and attack, and then lastly the HP and the damage reflection. And those three on the back, as I used to say on all my videos, they didn't make much difference for me, so I kept them as whatever you want to upgrade first. When it comes to the wardrobe, agility is her main attribute and stats, and agility will boost her minimum and maximum attack, so that is the most important one to level up. Then we're going to go for attack because she is a DPS angel. After that, it's the HP, endurance, and then strength and intellect wouldn't matter or make big of a difference which one you do first. Now let's talk about gems. On gems, we are going to be doing the attack gem first to level 15. Then, in my opinion, defense penetration gem will be a bit stronger to kill your enemies faster. After that, HP gem, and lastly, the defense gem. And for the special gem from Illusion Corridor, you would want probably the true damage gem, because she's doing a lot of true damage. And in my opinion, buff received with final damage boost is the best option that you can get. If you're looking more into the PvP, then speed will be another attribute that you would like to put for Nemesis. But if you're looking more onto the PvE aspect, then the attack or the crit damage will be better to put on that gem. For the Affinity and Fate, your goal is to reach at least 2000 in order to be able to marry the angel, and then to gather as many of the Fate angels as possible. As you can see, she has quite the costly Fate for the attack buffs. As you can see, you will need Lilith, you will need Anubis, Raph, and Aiden. Now here the good news and the bad news about this Fate. The good news is that it's a lot of attack, and you will be using Raph most likely in your lineup. You will be using Aiden most likely in your lineup. Venus is an SSR plus angel, as well as Athena and Hera. You will obtain them very, very easily. Hela is an angel that you will be using, which is still amazing. So for those, you won't really have that much trouble building up. But now Lilith and Anubis are another two DPS angels. Lilith will not help you for PvE at all. And Anubis, if you build Anubis, you will have the chance to fight on Nightmare dungeons, because there you will need 2 teams, not 1. So Anubis will be helpful for that. And Lilith is an amazing PvP angel. And there are a lot of events where you need 3 different teams for PvP, so you need 3 different DPSs essentially to put on each team. So then maybe Nemesis with Lilith and Anubis could be those for the future DPSs. But again, my suggestion is to only summon Lilith and Anubis and keep them at 0 stars only in order to get the attack Fate for the Nemesis. And after you max out Nemesis, to build those supports in order to help Nemesis out way more than the Fate. When it comes to the pets, Death Reaper is the best free-to-play DPS pet that you can own and upgrade, so my suggestion is to go with her. But when it comes to the pay-to-win, as I say, pets, or harder to obtain pets, maybe Icarus will fit in as a better option, but the difference between those two won't be that big for you to worry if you should put this Icarus on her in order to swap the Death Reaper. In my opinion, running Death Reaper will be completely fine for you. And lastly, I would like to say that on my guides, I don't have the support lineup for a certain DPS, mainly because it does change depending on which supports are available when you max out your DPS angel. For instance, let's say you max out Nemesis, but on the next week your only options are to summon for Capricorn and Hela. Then I would say you could start building one of those 2 supports, even though it won't help you that much. But if you have the blues and you want to spend money, then it's good for you to start building those supports. But for Nemesis, the best option will be a Death Evasion support. This is just theoretical. So in a way, it really matters what is available to summon now. So when it comes to the supports, I'm trying to make the best overall guides on support, so you can decide yourselves which support you want to build first. But in my opinion, don't sweat it too much, because you will definitely need like more than 11 supports in the end game, because the more the game progresses, the more supports we need, and you swap them between the different situations. And also when it comes to Havoc, which some of you haven't experienced yet, for there you need 18 completely built angels in order to push the last stage. So don't worry about it if you have built some angels that you don't seem to like, enjoy, or find useful at the moment. They will find their place later on through the gameplay. So I would like to thank you all for watching. Of course, if you have any questions, please leave them down in the comments below, and stay tuned for all the guides that I'm yet to make.